guys, we're going to take a few minutes and we just want to have a great conversation with some great sellers who've been in our tribe for quite a while now. And some of you who haven't met Keith and Beth Amos, you're missing a treat because they're really great people. They're easy to spot in a crowd for a number of reasons. Number one, which they're beautiful, but number two, which normally Keith is looking over the top of everyone else's heads. So, so that he's probably pretty used to that right now. So yes. Keith and Beth Amos, welcome to the webinar today. Appreciate you guys being here.
Great to be here, Gay.
Tell us about that fine place that you live, which I hear these rumors that it's like sunny and warm all the time and this magical.
It's beautiful. It's about 75 right now.
What?
We're just an hour south of Tampa Bay. So you know what that means coming up here soon. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. Beautiful day.
Yeah, well, okay. Just to put that in perspective, I just got off FaceTime with my son in Liberty, Missouri, and it's just snowing like crazy up there now. And thankfully, 4 hours south down here, we're not snowing, but it's gloomy, overcast, cold, and yucky. I'm dreaming of Florida. Yes, I am.
Soon for you guys, right?
Yeah, come down and see what your sunshine looks like from that end. So tell me, Beth, what does your life look like in Florida? Kind of frame up for us what your family looks like and answer for us the question, why do Beth and Keith Amos always get double?
Well, we have, collectively, we have 5 children between us. We have 2 older children that live in North Carolina, and then we have 3 children that live with us here in Florida. We have an 18-year-old daughter, and then we have twins that are 7 years old. And this year, something new, we are homeschooling them full time, which is a blessing. So thankfully, you know, God just opened the doors to that, and now they just come to work with me every day and help me shop.
So now they've been shopping with you though for a long time. They've been shopping for you since they were tots, right?
Yes.
All right. So tell me what that looks like going through a store with 2 toddlers.
You know, at first, you know, I just bring them books or things or whatever, just to kind of occupy their time. And then I would say, okay, like they would bring shoes up to the register, you know, but now they can help me look at the shoes and they inspect. I mean, they are very, they're like, oh, look at this little dot on this or this. I mean, they've got it down.
Oh,
quality control.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, good. Yeah. So they want their own little scanners and everything now, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, soon enough, they'll be scanning and helping me out, but they are awesome little helpers. So yeah, when the stores, they'll look at the shoes and they'll bring them up to the register. And then when we're done checking out, they'll help carry the bags to the car, and they're just love to help any way they can.
Get them rooted in entrepreneurism right away. So Keith, tell us how you ended up in the Amazon space. This is not your full-time job. You've got another full-time gig.
Yes.
So tell us about that, and then tell us how you guys ended up in the Amazon space.
We, I mean, for a long time, going back to probably 2009, I was always looking for something to do, you know, from home, you know, add additional income stream, and eventually, you know, have that be our full-time income. So I went through the network marketing, the direct sales, the internet marketing, affiliate sales, like for 4 years.
Been there, done that.
So I did all that. And in 2012, I went to an event in Orlando, and it was good. And when I left there, I said to Beth, I said, you know, the one thing I know I don't want to do, and that's retail arbitrage. We had gone out, or she didn't go, I went to that one with Chris Green, you know Chris Green?
Yes.
So at the event, he's like, look, after the event, we're going to hit a Toys R Us, and, you know, I'll show you what I do. And so we hit a couple stores. I'm just thinking, man, this is what I want to do. So I kind of checked that off the list, but it was one of the first things that I seen that was legitimate. you know,
Right.
after looking at all the affiliate stuff and network
Right.
marketing, not that you can't do well with that, because I know people in that space that do well, but for me, I thought when I left, I thought this is definitely a path I want to go down. So, but it still took from there. We didn't open our account till summer of 2015.
Gotcha.
So we meandered around. We had the twins in 2013, so we were, you know, our plate was full. But at that time, Beth had a cleaning company, and my goal was to get her out of that and into something
Gotcha.
else. So,
Gotcha.
yeah, so we found Tribe. Well, I found you listening to Stephen Peterson's podcast.
Right. Right.
And as a matter of fact, when I was messaging you a couple of days ago, it popped up to the first message I had sent you, which I think was like September 2018.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
hey, help.
I remember that. I remember that. I was like,
yeah,
I don't know
so
this guy from a cake of soap, and I don't know if I should spend any time with him or
I
not.
know. I'm like, how much could I pay you to talk on the phone?
You
Join the Tribe.
Yeah, I get well, and that was kind of a funny thing too, because I did want to help you because I felt like that we could.
Yeah.
And that, you were asking good questions. So that really made me know that if somebody's asking good questions, thoughtful questions, they really will take action on the information you give them. And so that made me feel good about that. And then also, I was a little hesitant to go, dude, what you just need to do is join Tribe and just, can I
Yeah.
get off the phone and you just join Tribe and let's go, that type of thing.
Right.
So I didn't want to make you feel like I was just making you jump in there. But
Right.
so I think I kind of soft pedaled that a little bit. But you found your way into Tribe, and I remember when you guys walked into the Branson conference in 2019, and
Yeah.
that was quite an event for
That was
everyone.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, by then, you guys were doing quite a volume in sales, weren't you?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
2018, you were doing quite a volume in sales, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Yeah. It was we were in the seven figures. It was good for sure. But what matters is the bottom line, and that wasn't going too well, if you remember.
Right. Right. Yeah. So you needed to to make some changes. And now, Beth, you mentioned you used the phrase "the girls take the shoes up to the counter." So does that mean shoes and clothing is a category that you guys largely feature, or are there other categories that you really deep dive on?
I would say probably 80% would be shoes and clothes. We do some OA, which is other categories, but as far as RA, it's mainly shoes and clothes.
Okay. And so generally outlet shopping, that type of thing, or
Yes, the outlets.
so, and other secret stores that shall remain nameless, huh? Okay.
Right.
I'm gonna go scanning with you, Keith, you and Beth, when I come down there to Florida. I'm gonna
Let's do it. Yeah.
take me to your honey hole. You won't have to worry about me as competition either, because it's like 2 days to drive down there. So probably not going to be going there very often. So,
Right.
so shoes and clothing is really your focus, or has been your focus. Now, of course, we got Tribe 5 rolling out, and we got all kinds of things happening in Tribe 5 that may end up expanding that for you.
Right.
But so as you're growing in shoes and clothing, then you did find some bumpy spots along the way in the business end of it, and you guys took 2020 to really pull yourself up and say, okay, how are we really going to proceed with this? So let's talk about what that meant when you had to say, or when you chose, as business owners, you chose to say, wait a minute, let's make sure that we're going the direction that we really want to be going.
Right. So obviously 2020, right, COVID hits, and if you're selling shoes and clothes, you're no longer a priority.
Right.
For Amazon to ship your products.
Got shut down, and
yeah. So and then after that, right, the malls got closed, and so everything was closed, and
right.
So for a while, we've been wanting to expand categories, but you tend to go with what you know.
Sure.
We just didn't have the push to do so. But that really made us make the changes we knew we should make. And so we did jump out of shoes and clothes, I would say in May, June-ish, mainly because the malls were still closed.
Sure,
And
sure.
we really never liked to OA shoes. So we didn't go to OA for shoes, but we expanded. I mean, we started going to local stores that we've never been to, and we're finding products that we're selling. I mean, we jumped into food and grocery. We jumped into, health and beauty. And I mean, we listed some products. Of course, we never did merchant fulfilled either.
Right.
Not one order in 5 years did we ever fulfill ourselves, except for our eBay stuff. So we were looking for one, sales dwindled quite a bit. So we needed to turn things very fast.
Right.
So, and Beth's very good at, looking at the Keepa charts. And so we really, we use the apps and we look at rank and all that. But if Keepa said that sucker was selling, I didn't care if it was a million rank,
Right.
And we had done that some before, but we just, of course, through the tribe training and learning Keepa even more in depth than what we had learned before, helped us feel more comfortable basing our buying decision on that versus just the rank. So we, I remember we were having a party here one day. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, just let me drill on that just a minute. So do you feel like that you were able to increase your skill with Keepa and that helped you have comfort as you moved in those other categories? Because by
Yes.
shoes and clothing, you were like, yeah, I know that'll sell, yeah. But now
Right.
you have other categories and you're like, what? But you really could drill down because of the Keepa training that Taran did. He does a great job.
Yes,
He
he
and
does.
Gary with the Keepa training. And
Yeah.
bet that gave you the confidence you needed to make those buying decisions in different categories. Is that what I hear him saying?
Yes. Basically, just because before I wasn't using the Keepa as much, and I've really toned into looking at it just every time, because before I would just maybe look at the price and the rank and oh yeah, this is a good buy. But now it's really just seeing how many times it's selling or how many sellers, or just really looking at all the information, but trying to make a quick decision as well while you're in the store, because you don't want to take too long. But definitely have learned a lot from the training on using
Right.
that.
That's good. That's good.
My wife can walk into a store and buy $2,000 in 30 minutes. I'm like, oh, I don't have to pick up the kids for 30 minutes. I'm going to run in over here and pick up. What?
Now that's my kind of girl right there. Make every store pay you. Come on. And once you really get it down, I mean, you can flat scoop out several $1,000s worth of inventory in just a matter of minutes, really. I mean, there's nothing wrong with learning how to do that and maximizing your moments, especially when you're a mommy with children, right?
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Your moments. So Keith, I interrupted you when you said, we had a party. You were starting to say we had a party or something.
Yeah. Well, I before that, I just wanted to bring up too, you made a good point. When you jump into other categories, you really, you're not familiar with those ranks and how many sellers, right? We know shoes, we know ranks, we know we're comfortable buying with how many sellers. And when you jump into another category where maybe there's 75 sellers, you don't see that too often in the shoes and clothing category, right? So the Keepa just really helped a lot with, all right, how many is this product selling? So we found some acid reducer, was it? Of all things. And so we had sold some, did the test, buy a few, it sold right away. And so we went and we bought all that they had, cases of it. And I listed merchant fulfilled. I'm in here, I'm in the dining room right now, and Beth's outside entertaining some ladies. Maybe gets her friends over. And I thought I did something wrong because I listed it, and we have merchant fulfilled set up to ding our phones so we don't miss an order. And ding, ding, ding. I mean, I couldn't shut it off, Gay. I tried to raise the price in Amazon. I went to the repricer. I'm like, I got to slow this down. I mean, I want to sell them, but I'm selling it too cheap, right? I don't want to sell 80 of them this hour. But they all sold out in 59 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
It was around 70 of them or something. But that, of course, gets your wheels spinning. The profit, I think, was maybe $7 each. So it was less than we're used to making, but at the same time, like, man, look how fast we just turned
Right.
that money.
Right.
So what else can we go into? So it became more of sales, fast selling products, right? What's selling fast? We'll compromise on the profit. If I can turn my money inside of that billing cycle, I'm in.
Gotcha.
And for merchant fulfilled, if we weigh under a pound, we're definitely in. So
Right.
yeah, so that just opened our eyes to, gosh, so many other things that has gone on since June that a year ago, we just said, no way are we going to ship an 80-pound product across the country, which we got into. But
Which you got into. Oh, that's a thing of beauty. That's a thing of beauty. So, the merchant fulfilled aspect, this is a place where I think a lot of us have left money on the table in the past.
Yeah.
And thankfully, COVID forced our hand, forced us into it. And, also thankfully we had Linda Nielsen step up there and offer the training.
You're not kidding.
And bailed out a lot of people on how to. And of course, Lisa Clark, she helps a lot behind the scenes, and likes to stay behind the scenes. So we let her. But she helped out so much, so many people. And I think having that merchant fulfilled gives you a way to have you could even consider an additional stream of income. Though it's coming through Amazon, right? You can consider that even a feeder stream of income into your FBA shops, right?
Yeah.
So what were the other things that helped you make those changes in 2020? You kind of had to, get yourselves by the shirt sleeve and go, okay, how am I going to do this? How am I going to pivot? But how am I going to pivot profitably? Right.
Yeah.
So look at increasing that profit. What were the things that helped you with that?
We definitely just took a stronger focus on what we've already sold. In the past, we were, our revenues was going up every month. We kind of had our, she does a lot of I don't really do any of the shopping she does. So, but you get to your paths in the store, you're going down the same aisles, you're hitting the same sections. And we really didn't take a lot of time to focus on what was selling really well, So the big thing was, of course, replens, right? Going through that ASIN profitability report and just really looking at what's selling well, because if you've been selling for any period of time, you should have some winners in there. Right. And we really went as deep as we could on those, because if we had proven sales data, then we felt comfortable, we bought very deep on a lot of things, whereas before we never really did,
So now this, you hit on that, a great line there. You had proven sales data. So that's how you knew when to go deep. You were able to look at that sales data. You were also able to look at Keepa historically and cyclically during the sales cycles. And before you pulled the trigger on going deep, right? Because a lot of people who are new to selling on Amazon make the mistake of going too deep too soon. And almost always it's the wrong product. They don't know it's the wrong product at the time, but some of us cringe. We're like, no. You can see that they're not getting the data, and they're not understanding the data. But you guys had a lot of good historical data because you've been in it for five years, right?
Right.
So you're drawing on that data. So revisiting what is sold before, and were you able to open up other resources, source stores, if you will, or distributorships or manufacturers?
Yeah, you started going outside the outlet malls quite a bit, right?
Yeah, there's a few new stores that I found. Yes, but mainly the outlets.
Yeah, right. And we did get into OA, I think. Yeah, into May. We've dabbled in that over the years, but it's just, for us, it seemed more profitable. The RA, which usually is, but obviously with everything being closed, and we just realized even when everything opens back up, we don't want to be so short-sighted, so to speak, just to look at retail stores. So
Right.
yeah, so she does the OA too.
Well, Gary says OA is some of the best boring money you will ever make.
Yeah,
And,
I know.
once you get your OA set up where actually you're not even the buyer, if you can get where you're not even the buyer, what a great thing, because
Yeah.
then even if you get it set up where you're not even the prepper, how great is that? You
Yep.
just want paying the credit card bill every month, make sure it pays off before its closing date, guys,
Yep.
every month, and get those credit card points. Take your vacations for free, right? So
Absolutely.
are they things that you had to get over in your mindset to move your business into profitability? What were those things that you had to get over in your mindsets?
For me, it was just going into just other categories that had smaller profits. $5 profits never excited me,
Right.
but when I saw sales velocity, it did.
Right.
It just became more of really just a cash flow strategy. Who
Right.
cares what I'm selling? If I need to be able to turn this cash very fast,
Right.
grab my profit and continue to grow organically instead of on debt. So that was tough because shoes and clothes obviously has a higher, average sale price and all that. So getting over that, but then, at Tribe before we met Carol and Griffey at dinner the first night. Love those guys. So, but we didn't, that was the first time we had met. So, we didn't know, how large their business was or anything. Obviously after talking, you get an idea, right? But
yeah.
yep. They were sharing some of the things that I'm sure they wouldn't. They sold some bicycles, right? And we're like,
Yep.
what?
Yep.
So it's hearing you sold what, and then other people obviously are like into much larger things, and so obviously that just gets the brain turning like whoa. And so we have sold. I mentioned earlier that 80-pound. Of course, we're in Florida, right? And who orders the 80-pound item but someone in Oregon?
Oh so, no, it always goes that way.
It does. I think our first like half dozen orders were California and Oregon. Oh. Thank God. We did Linda's, we set up merchant, everything like.
It's a good thing you had your.
She said, and because we had figured, all right, this thing's probably going to cost. Yeah, because somebody over, what did they 2-day air that thing? They 2-day aired this thing. The shipping was it $400? Yeah. We saw a 2-day air come in and we were just about,
wow.
It wasn't good.
There's no accounting for how people will use their money when they're buying stuff from you.
Yeah.
You can't figure it out. You just got to roll with it, right? Hey, if they want to buy it, I'm going to sell it to them, right? If they're going to, if they want to expedite it, I will expedite it.
I know.
If they want overnight it to them, right?
We were so grateful we lived.
You were glad you listened to Linda, huh?
We're like, oh my gosh. And luckily Linda's, all her settings. Yeah, we would have been eating some shipping in that if we hadn't. But anyway, that just the entire, just being around other sellers, seeing their perspective on things, even if, they're not going to go out and tell you exactly what they're selling, but they just give you an idea and it just takes your mind to, didn't even think about that, right?
Right. Yeah, I think that's right. Beth, you've been in our meetups too, and you've had those conversations where you're like, and somebody just drops, yeah, I used to sell blah, blah, blah. And you're like, what? I didn't, never in my wildest dream would I have thought that. Plus the nice thing about those kind of face-to-face moments with people when they start to feel comfortable with you and they appreciate you and, they feel like they want to help you, and they can drop those nuggets, and it may be something they can't get access to anymore.
Right.
It's no skin off their nose if you sell it. Right. And all of a sudden it's opened up something for you that you never even thought about. That's why I love about hearing, when we, at the Kentucky meetup and then in the meetup the year before, just kind of cruising past conversations, and you hear people talking about so many different things. It just opens your mind to all the possibilities. And just think about this right now. there is stuff that's not even made it to the Amazon catalog yet. That's going to be bestsellers. It's never even made it to the catalog. We don't even know about it yet. The possibilities are endless.
Yeah,
Right.
it's awesome. I love it.
So what would you say to people who are needing to look at their numbers, needing to go to their accountant, needing to go to their, bookkeeper or accountant, wherever it is, and take a hard look at their numbers? What would you say to them?
First, I'd say if you're going to find an accountant or CPA bookkeeper, find someone that understands an inventory-based business.
That's good.
We found somebody that was recommended through Dave Ramsey. You can go on his site and they recommend people.
Sure.
And she was here locally, fantastic person. I think she may have felt obligated to help us because of how we came to her. But I had to teach her the whole back end of Inventory Lab and Amazon, and that's just foreign to anybody that's not in that every day.
Right.
So my first recommendation is to find somebody that understands this business.
Yeah, I think you hit it. Inventory-based business.
Yeah.
And then even if you can take it one step further, that they understand it, e-commerce inventory-based business, that'd be great.
Right.
But if they do understand inventory-based business, that does cross a lot of, a lot of lines. And a lot of people don't even know some of the write-offs that they can take in their inventory-based business until they get with the right accountant. So they're paying more in taxes than they should.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's a lot of good ones out there. I think you guys have Anna Hill in the group. She's fantastic.
Yeah.
Very lovely lady to talk to. She's very calming.
Yes, she is. Yes, and she's got a can-do spirit, doesn't she?
Yes, she does. So that'd be first, and then second really is I don't see many folks discussing the cash flow statements. How's my revenue keeps going up, or they spent their money, they're out of money. The revenue looks good, but they're out of money, right? Why is that?
Right.
It's tracking how much you're spending and making sure inventory doesn't keep piling up. If you bought a bunch of inventory but your sales only went up 10%, well, something's not turning fast enough, right? So but then some folks, their business model is to hold long term, so it's not necessarily for everybody to do that. But I think you really just got to know where your money's going so you have a healthy business. We grew in revenue every month for several years, and that didn't mean that's one of the things Anna taught us. She's like, you can't fix your problems with more revenue that's producing the same results. So this turns into a business pretty quick, especially in Tribe. The people we've met at the first Tribe meetup in Branson there, 2000, was that 19?
Yeah.
And to see their businesses now, it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you can go from, and that's why I always like to compare it to, some folks get frustrated because it takes more time if you want to grow organically, right, without maybe taking out a big loan or debt. But just compare that to your job. If you wanted to get a raise and triple your income in the next year or 5 years, would you ever be able to do that? Probably not.
Probably not.
I'm in full commission sales, so I do have control over a portion of it, but I'm only one person, right? I can't double my income next year unless I'm never around, which may make her happier, but I don't know.
She says no.
Yeah.
She's like, don't leave me with all these people. So that's true. That where can you go? Number one, people don't really realize how beautiful this business is. Where can you start a business with almost nothing? And really, how can you, where else can you start a business with almost nothing? And Amazon will literally tell you what to buy. That's what those sales ranks are for.
Right.
It tells you what to buy. How beautiful is that, And then what you've got to learn is the magic of turning that inventory. And when when Gary does that session in the coaching rounds on power of multiplication, or calls it different things at different times because they'll have different focuses each round. But when you understand that,
Yeah.
when the light bulb goes off on that, and then you really put that into practice, it changes everything.
Agreed. Yeah.
I think when people also see that there are real people with real lives, making mistakes, fixing mistakes, moving, from one kind of business to another, making those pivots, making those changes, it should encourage them to do the same. And you guys had a tough 2020. You guys had to sit down and figure some things out, but it sounds to me like you got some things figured out.
It's been great. Our gross profit's up 11% over last year. And, for us, that was a big deal.
Yes.
We went to Tribe 4 and, obviously networked with some folks, a lot of good people there, a lot of good people all around the tribe. And through that, we learned of some products to check out, and it made an enormous difference in Q4, put it that way. We paid off some nice sized debts with that.
Nice.
It's just, I think the overall mindset, that's being taught in the whole tribe is pretty congruent with a lot of the people in it, like growing a business, being healthy about it, but success just isn't about the top line, it's family, it's, having a good life along the way, which has always been our goal from day one.
Right. So Beth, tell us about that, quality of life issue when you do get to, you don't have to send your babies off to somebody else for the day. And, especially in the crazy world, and you get to impart into them and train them. Also, you guys are teaching them how money works. Tell us how much that means and what has changed in your children.
Basically, I love being able to be their teacher and, like you said, not sending them off to someone else. So I know like what they're learning, I know what's being instilled in them. And I think the main thing is just like their hearts, like what is being put inside their hearts. So they see like how our business runs, and like just teaching them, like if you buy products, then you're going to make a profit, and you work hard, you're going to make, you're working, you're building a business, it's not just something that's being handed to you. So it's just definitely been a blessing to have them with me, and having the flexibility of, just making your own schedule. You don't have to be punch in at a time clock at a certain time. So basically, like, we do school in the morning, and then we head off to the outlet. They open at 11, so we get there and shop till we can get as much in the car as possible and
right
in the office. So yeah, it's just beautiful.
So do they get paid? Are they listening? Should we not be saying this right now? Are they in the other room listening? No, I think they're at church right now, aren't they?
Yeah, they're at Awanas. I think they get a better, like, we try and instill a perspective of, when they want something, right? Or why do you guys got to go shopping again? Because sometimes it's not, they're tired of it, and I get it. Or if there's a sale, we're just going to run over to the office to get this, ship that, yada yada. And we just, it's just an explanation of, well, you like when you open the pantry, there's something in there, right? You like this teddy bear you got. We just start more or less showing the hierarchy of, we went to the store and you bought these shoes. Remember those shoes? You helped prep them. Yeah, we sold those, right? And we made some money, and that's how we got food here. So it's kind of this is the circle, the economic circle of how it works. So
I don't know if it
helps them at all, but
yeah, some kids live in those magic lives where they just think money just shows up for some way. But you guys are teaching them how money works, and that's important. But also more important, how life works, or how life should work to give you a happy and healthy life. So it's worth a lot. So what would you say to people who are just now starting in the Amazon business, and they've somehow landed in Tribe, and they're not sure about all what, everybody's talking about Tribe 5 and the coaching round or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're just not sure if me and Gary are telling them the truth. Yeah, they don't know us from a cake of soap. I understand that. But what would you say to them? And by the way, I haven't given you any money, have I?
No money.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's see. That's a big, there's a big answer to that. If I were to, go all in on that. I mean, you and Gary, there's a lot of people in the group, right? But you guys spearheaded. And I heard Gary on Steven Peterson's podcast around the same time as you. And I remember thinking, I need to meet that guy too.
Yeah.
There's just a code of ethics that you two have about the way you conduct yourselves in this tribe. And I'm sure there's a ton of work on the back end that none of us see with just policing things or making sure this is a nice group. Everyone's encouraging. No one's beating up on anybody because the same question's been asked by 100 other people. And just the overall business philosophy, you need to know how to run a business. And they're not, you guys aren't just teaching, here's how to go, scan a website and find a product and put it on a spreadsheet and press buy. It's the business mindset, right? That what Gary goes into in those, the sessions in the tribe, how the one you're just talking about, extrapolating out your percentage of ROI throughout the whole year,
Right.
Comparing all that, it just wakes you up and makes you a better business person. So I think a lot of people coming into tribe, and maybe some that are in it too, you may not have that business background. We all know we got to be profitable at all, it doesn't, we know that, but there's a lot more that goes into it once things start taking off, and if you don't control the bus, it's going to run over you. Mm-hmm. So, but you guys have been instrumental in just, I mean, if we didn't learn anything about how to sell on Amazon, I would still want to be in the group because I want to be around good people that just spearhead us in the right way. You're good mentors. So I think we get past sometimes, or, you see a lot of people, they've been in all the tribes, or we've been in 2, 3, 4, now 5.
Yeah. Your names are on 3 of these, I think. Yeah.
And the truth is, I'm coming into my busy season at work, and even in the past, I mean, I'm in air conditioning sales, so I'm pretty much busy most of the year. I may get to 15% of the content, maybe. And it goes along with, like Gary says, little hinges swing big doors.
Right.
And there's a guy I met many years ago who was, they called him a seminar junkie or whatever, right? He went to every training, anything on improving self-development. And he said, you got to eat the meat and spit out the bones. Because, there's a lot of stuff we know, right? I don't need to know how to go to a website, but there's going to be this thing that's going to be said, right? And if it's just 2 things,
yep,
that's way more than the price of admission. I mean, worth the value. And that's what we're there for. Just the camaraderie of everybody that's in the tribe, but the things you're going to learn if you think RA or OA, we all know the basics, most of us, right? It's the little things. I'm telling you, it's.
And I think also that we change. We're becoming. It's just kind of like in the Christian sense. Just because you came to the Lord didn't mean you got up the next day and were perfect.
Right.
We're always growing in grace. We're always growing in that and trying to abound, in the work of the Lord. And it's a work in progress. I mean, Gary and I both, neither one of us will profess we're.
Yeah, I know the tribe has evolved, certainly.
Yeah. And so, none of us will say that, we've got this figured out, but even in business in Amazon, we are growing in our understanding, and it's always a constant that Amazon's going to change something.
That's the only thing we can count on.
And it's nice when you have other people to help you pivot, isn't it? Just like what we experienced with going through COVID and the changes in 2020. So, well, guys, hopefully somebody has watched this and been encouraged by it and feel like that they can take another step, or they could even start their business. You know, for many of us, it was just, we just got out and started scanning and found out there
Yeah.
was money laying all around us. Then we just had to learn to scoop it up and figure out how to make us more money, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So thank you for spending this valuable time. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but you know, the Kansas City Chiefs are about to win the Super Bowl. And so, you know, that's kind of a big deal in Missouri. And no, that's okay, right? For me to say that. I mean, it's
Hey, it's your group.
I'm
Didn't wear
teasing.
a Bucks jersey or anything for you. See, I kept it
No,
all neutral.
you didn't. Dan Wentworth is probably wearing the jersey right now. He's probably getting ready to razz me. All
Yes.
right. Well, no, we just have good fun here. And,
Yes.
you know, one thing I love about what happens in Tribe is that everybody does maintain that real spirit of cooperation and just joy in knowing each other.
Yes,
Isn't
they
that
do.
wonderful that you can meet people in Tribe that you may never ever have met in your regular, ordinary, everyday life, and then they become something very special to you. It's always very special to me when I see newcomers come in. I always think, you know, wonder who they're going to end up being best friends with.
Yeah.
Wonder who they're going to end up vacationing with in Tribe, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
It'll happen.
people that have never met each other before. It's always fun. So guys, thank you for being here. I plan to see you down in Florida here in another couple of weeks. Give you a good hug.
Yes, you will.
You keep that sunshine shining for us, okay?
You got it, Kay. Good luck tonight.
Thank you. Bye-bye.